or his dad. His mother said While Away Lane was a peaceful street where you could hear the birds chirp. That sounded boring. Daniel loved the noises outside his window, the whining sirens of the fire engines and police cars, the garbage truck's loud moan, the passenger train's whistle. Those sounds made him think adventures were happening all around him. He didn't care about birds chirping. Maybe he didn't even like birds. While Away Lane may have only been across the county, but to Daniel, it was a world away. Chapter 2. While Away Lane. Some of the things that Tilda Butter loved about living on While Away Lane were the sounds, the birds chirping from oak trees, the leaves rustling on windy days, even the ping-panging of Agatha Brown's piano students across the street. The sounds reminded her that While Away Lane was the very best place to live. Tilda didn't always feel that way about While Away Lane. She remembered the day years ago when she was 7 years old and her parents dropped her off at this very house to stay with Aunt Sippy. She watched them walk away toward the train station at the edge of town, her father in his black cape, her mother in her fur wrap. It wasn't even cold outside that day. They were only supposed to be gone for the summer while they toured the country in their opera-starring roles. But the show had been a great success, and the limited run had turned into a year, then a decade, then another, and a few more. For all Tilda knew, her parents could still be taking curtain calls. She hadn't seen or heard from them in so long, not even on her birthdays. And there had been many, so many that she didn't bother to put candles on the cake anymore for fear that it might catch fire. Aunt Sippy loved Tilda, though, and when she died, she left Tilda her home. This yellow cottage on While Away Lane was the only home Tilda cared to remember. The morning her new neighbors were heading to While Away Lane, Tilda had bundles of things to do. She needed to tidy the garden, wash the dishes — there were always dishes in the sink — and do the laundry. Piles were always waiting. She hated housework and had no problem avoiding it. She considered it one of the best privileges of being a grown-up and living alone. Tilda decided to have a sit in her favorite chair for a few minutes. She should have known better, because whenever Tilda settled in her favorite chair, her dog, Fred, took advantage of an irresistible opportunity. A lap. Fred loved Tilda's lap. It was soft and cushy, and her belly had a little roll around the middle that formed a pillow perfect for resting against. There was only one problem. Fred was not a lapdog. He was a big dog. Or, to put it more exactly, he was a big dog who thought he was a lapdog. "Oh, Freddie boy, not today." Fred wiggled and circled atop Tilda's lap, searching for just the right direction to face. Tilda put up with all the paw-poking and tail-smacking because she loved Fred. Finally, Fred curled up into a tight brown ball, as much as a very large dog is able to do, but his body still spilled over Tilda's lap with his tail brushing the floor. Now settled, he rested his chin on her head. Whenever Fred did that, Tilda's heart melted into a puddle of cream, and she said, "Only for a while, dear boy." She stretched her arm high and scratched the spot between his ears, while she craned her head around Fred, watching the comings and goings of While Away Lane outside her window. Usually at this hour, there would be a child walking slowly, very slowly, to a piano lesson at Agatha Brown's home across the street. But it was spring break, and most of While Away Lane was off on vacation. The newspaper delivery man drove by Tilda's cottage and pitched the paper. It hit her front door and landed with a thump on the mat. Fred sighed. Nothing could stir him from this bliss. But a moment later, when Dewey Wonder, the mailman, stopped and the mailbox creaked open, Fred growled and barked until he heard Dewey's Jeep putter away.